welcome, welcome to Dynamite Delight. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Always got this thing out of focus. Welcome to Dynamite Delight. Can We Go is the best title for this because there's a lot of stuff going on that's setting up for All Out and how they can make it really go. Now, before I get started, there's something I really need to say. I need to say this, particularly by the time I talk about CM Punk. I need to make this clear, really clear. I see what's coming. I can see how many people are going to be saying, oh, Dynamite is going to be explosive. The numbers are going to be amazing. Guys, let's put this in fair perspective. What we got on Rampage when CM Punk debuted was 1.129 million people. It was up from 800,000 from the last night, which is very good for a show that's only 1 hour long. So my guess is there will be near 1 million. Doesn't always mean they'll top it. It will be near 1 for Rampage. Dynamite from now on, I'm going to be honest here. What do I believe the numbers are going to be? And I know I don't have to say the numbers, and I can easily be wrong. I know I can be wrong. I know. But knowing how fans are today, let's make this clear. We're talking about the hardcore fans, and we're talking about the casual fans. The one that just flips something on TV and say, oh, this is something interesting. Isn't that a guy that hasn't been seen in years? Look, when CM Punk literally did what he did in Rampage, I watched reactions of not just wrestling fans, but non-wrestling fans, and several of them just acted beyond stupid. One of them actually said, oh, who's Britt Baker? Is she a tick flick girl? It shows that people don't really know much about wrestling that much anymore and don't care that much about wrestling. They want something to watch because they don't really have nothing else to do. They want excitement. And seeing how casual fans are compared to hardcore fans who have been disenfranchised, who've gone to UFC and MMA, Bellator, and whatever other mixed martial arts, you know what numbers we'll probably get? If we're lucky, maybe 1.2. And it may never go beyond that. Now, I'm hoping it does go beyond that, but I'm saying this truthfully because of what happened right now in this show, because of how the fans acted. And I'll explain my understanding of this. Now, we had a lot going on in this show, and I'm going to miss something. Orange Cassidy versus when it came to Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy, that was a bad match. Not just because this should be on a separate show like Rampage. This should be put on Rampage to be able to make this story continue instead of opening a show. If Matt Hardy has a beef with best friends, why not put it on Rampage so it can be basically spotlighted? It's the opening match. And the worst thing about this match wasn't about the match quality. It was fine. It was when Orange Cassidy tried to do a crossbody on Matt Hardy, and he, instead of landing on the chest of Matt Hardy, his chest landed straight on Matt Hardy's nose and broke it. Dude, I got a shot of him. I do believe of his nose bleeding, but he does have his hand covering his face. He was bleeding bad. He literally got his shit crushed in Orange Cassidy's chest. That was bad. This is one of the problems that high flying has. It's highly exciting. It's what people like when it comes to the casuals. But there's always a cost. And the cost is that it can always go wrong. And Matt Hardy broke his nose like what happened with Alberto Carrillo and Sheamus when Alberto Carrillo broke Sheamus' nose. He broke it. Not in the same situation, but pretty much they're both high flyers. They both do some crazy stunts, and this is what happened to a Matt Hardy. Matt does not win this Orange Cassidy, but I'm going like, where did it go from here? Particularly now that Matt has a broken nose. It's going to take him time to recover. Now, we had the We had the Eliminator match for who is going to go up against the Bucks at All Out. Lucha Bros versus Varsity Blondes, along with Julia Hart. Now, I think she's a cute girl that really needs to talk and not smile so much. Because I think I got a shot of them when they're doing their promo. The only thing she did was just stand there and be quiet. Why? I don't want to see a pom-pom girl next to the Varsity Blondes. She should be allowed to talk, or should be talking. She should be practicing to talk. That's just me. You can tell me below. It was a fun match, and I wasn't surprised that the Lucha Brothers won. I don't think the Varsity Blondes are right yet. It's not that they don't have the ability, and they don't have the talking. It's not right yet. You got a whole bunch of teams out in front of them, and there's just no way. Look at what happened with FTR and their promo segment. Now, I know I could talk about them almost getting attacked. I'm not going to talk about that. When it comes to the Lucha Brothers, when they're dealing with Jurassic Express going against the Bucks, I'm only just mentioning it. This is more important. FTR wondering what they're going to be doing against Santana Ortiz. Now, Wheeler is back after his arm is wrapped, and I do believe I got a shot of that. And I'm hoping he'll be all right soon. He's supposed to come back this coming week. I'm just hoping he's all right, because it's been mainly 2 weeks. And yes, that could heal, but the counting of all the tendons and everything. Remember, this meat was ripped open by a hook going into it. Remember how they hold those ropes together, because they're steel. It's a metal hook, and it was like this. He got cut like that, and that is what happened. I'm just hoping that his arm is really ready for that, because it may not be fully healed yet. I'm just saying. I'm just worried. Now, we had the Chris Jericho segment. Now, I could talk about it later, but why not talk about it now? There's so much in this show. Can we go make sense for this match, particularly with CM Punk? Because we got two veterans in the CM Punk and the Chris Jericho who are going to be going up against two younger talent. In this situation, it's very interesting. Chris made it very clear he can't stop thinking about how he lost to a little twerp like that, little piece of garbage, little piece of shit in an MJF. And he makes it very clear, I can't let this go. And until I get my revenge, I'm never letting it go. But I know you're not going to be wanting this forever, and we need to end this. So I'll make a proposition to you, MJF. Come on out and I'll talk about it. MJF doesn't come out. So he says, okay, you're not coming out? Fine. Listen up. Get me one more match. Just one. One. If I win, fine. This ends. But if I lose, I give up in-ring competition and I go on commentary. Permanently. That is when MJF came out. And it became very interesting how MJF kind of, the way he structured this and how he explained how he was willing to go through with the match. And trying to warn Chris that you better be careful because you've gone up against me 3 times and you have lost. He made it clear. Chris, look, after that last match, I'm going like, dude, back off, leave it. But now you made this very interesting. Because I don't need to bother with you anymore. I have beaten the legend 3 times. Fine. I can't get any more out of you. And you, the only reason you're doing this is to milk me as much as you can because, simply put, you want to stay relevant. Well, Chris, the milking from my teats are done. I'm not giving you any more. But you made this very interesting. I've already done what I need to do. I have beaten a legend 3 times, but I've never retired one. So you're on. But you better think about this, as I said earlier. So this is very interesting. Now, it's not like it hasn't happened before. We've had matches like this in Impact Wrestling, now in AEW, WWE, TNA, ROH. We've had matches like this over the years. It's not uncommon. But in this situation, it's interesting because we know that Chris is not retiring. But we also know Chris was supposed to go on tour with Fonzie. And he has prolonged this for quite a while. So could this mean that finally, if he's quote unquote retired, because they'll bring him back, there's no way Chris is going to stop right now. He's not stopping yet. He can still roughly go in the ring as long as it's structured properly. And I know everyone's going to say, look, he's fat. He's got a dad bod. He can't do it. Listen to someone who can understand. Not just because I'm 50 myself. It's because he made AEW the way it is. People still care about him. And yes, is he slower than he was? Of course he is. We know this. Has he been able to keep up with everyone else? Most of the time, yes. So as long as he can, he's going to go through with it until the people start booing him. To the point where they're saying stop wrestling, either on Twitter, Facebook, or in the arenas. Until then, he's still going to go, and no matter what anybody says, not even myself, he's going to continue going. I'm just saying. Now, the women's match, Red Velvet versus Jamie Hurst. Not Hurst. Jamie, what is her last name? Hager. I believe her name's Hager. Now, we had a match that made no damn sense. None. You know why? Because it was too damn long. Look, I'm not happy that Kiera Hogan got her ass whooped so heavily on Rampage by Jade Cargill. But in this situation, it shouldn't be any different. Guys, no matter how much you may not like it, when a bigger wrestler is that big, is being hyped to a certain extent, they must be dominant. And in this match, I'm sorry, I like Red Velvet. I actually do. She's not bad of a talent. At least until she did that terrible botch where she tried to do a moonsault back. And pretty much, she flat out missed her by a good amount because she backflipped off the ring ropes, I believe. And as she backflipped, she went way beyond her and landed flat on her stomach. And her head didn't even touch Jamie. She didn't even touch her. So that was a bad judgment of distance when it came to Red Velvet. But here's the problem. Red Velvet, as much as she's a good talent and has gone up against Britt Baker, she's number one. I understand that she's was number one contender and she had her shot. Here is the problem. She's going up against a new person coming in who's supposed to be Britt Baker's muscle. She should not be... Calm down. You got to understand. Yes, there should be some level of wrestling where at least she shows that she deserved to go up against Britt Baker. But that match was way too long. It didn't need to be that long. And as much as I love Red Velvet, she shouldn't have done it that long. Sorry. Jamie won. And now, we had another trios match. No, we had a trios match. A Moxley, King, and Allen versus the Wingmen. I think we got 2 trios matches. Yes, we did. I wonder when they're going to bring out a title for that. They're calling it trios. They're not calling it a 6-man tag. They're calling it trios. So maybe this is going to be this is going to be a division where they need 3 titles. Come on. Just get it over with. Are you going to do it at All Out? I doubt it. They got to do something about it. They need... Hang on, it's getting dim again. They need, literally, a trios title. They need one. Unless AAA is going to give it to them or lend them out, they need a trios title of their own. They need it. Now, I got to say this. I like the dynamic between Moxley, Eddie, and Allen. They just have something. All 3 of them are just plain ass nuts. And having Sting there makes it even better. So I am hoping that titles will come out and it will make sense. Now, I could talk about the Wingmen, but I don't see them often. I'm sorry, I don't see the Wingmen. And because I don't see the Wingmen, I don't really know much about them. Yes, I do remember that Avalon's there, and I do know Dolph Ziggler's brother's there. And where's that guy's name? I forgot his name. Nenzoni or something? Since I don't watch Dark, I don't know those people very well. it is good to see them there being what they should be. Enhancement once in a while. Because I'm sure they're not enhancement on Dark or Elevation, but here they can be enhancement once in a while. That's all right. Now, Garza attack was interesting because he attacked Darby Allin. He didn't go after Moxley because he couldn't stand him because of what happened last week. But now, also, Moxley is now going up against Kojima, I believe, at All Out. And he's angry about it because he's honored and angry because now this old man is messing with him. So it's good to see they got something set up with Moxley going into All Out, dealing with New Japan Pro Wrestling because he does have connection there. And you see this dynamic between him, Kingston, and a Darby Allin. Now, the other trios match of the Factory versus the Gun Club. Guys, tell me that Billy Gunn doesn't age. That man is nearly 60 years old. If you don't know how Billy Gunn is, he's about 58, 59 years old. He's 8 to 9 years older than me. Look, I know I don't look young. Some people can't believe that I may have gray hair, but they can't believe I'm 50. They say I look like in my 30s or 40s. I don't believe it. I wish I did. But when you look at Billy Gunn, yes, you can see he's aged. Like he's in his early 40s or something. That's what he looks like. In his early 40s, you can see that he's grown older. But he's nearly 60 fucking years old. He's got 2 sons in their 20s and 30s. Shit. The guy doesn't age and he still goes well in the ring. It is shocking to see this guy still active in the ring. He's still strong enough to go in the ring. He's still fast enough to go in the ring. Does he have great agility? No, but it does work. Now, the Factory was there because they wanted to promote the Paul White moment that will happen at All Out versus QT Marshall. Fine. QT loses the match due to the fact that he's basically annoying a Paul White. Stupid man. Stupid man. But that's what we got. And it's good to see. Now, I know you're not happy about seeing the Big Show. Who wants to see the Big Show? Old fat ass talent who's like 7 foot tall, can't even work. One, Paul White got in really good shape. The guy is cut like a brick chicken house. He's got muscle and he's got abs. So he's better than you or me. Let's be honest here. The guy's got abs. He's 7 foot tall with freaking abs and can lift maybe 500 to 700 pounds. So don't say that he's a fat old man when he's not. He's better in shape than both of us. Also, it is QT Marshall. This isn't Cody. This isn't Darby Allin. This isn't someone who's really high up. Okay? He's at the very bottom. Now either he's going to work his way up, or this could be a 1 or 2 off. Once in a while he'll wrestle. Maybe once every 3 to 4 to 5 months. If it's a good story and it makes sense. There's nothing wrong with it. Yes, QT Marshall really isn't very relevant, but it's not the point of being relevant. Paul White's getting a match at All Out. It's a dark match. That's fine. It's all right. Those things can happen if they have some level of relevance. It's good. People are going to be happy to see the Big Show in the ring as Paul White himself. And he's not having a problem with his hips anymore. I'm just saying. Now, we got the Lambert segment with the Men of the Year. I want to see Dan Lambert as the Men of the Year's manager. Maybe this might be it. And he's now managing them because it makes sense. Look, we know Scorpio Sky does have some level of martial arts training. We also know that both these guys probably don't have that much martial arts training. As far as I know, they do have at least a little bit of understanding of martial arts when it comes to Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. So he might not be lying much. But even if he is, it's all right because it's Dan Lambert, a top team going for UFC and MMA and everything else. He can make it work. These guys could actually learn a couple of martial arts moves and add them to the repertoire and make themselves more interesting. They could actually get a good amount of mileage out of this, He has them over in his top team. They're training, hitting the bag, learning a little bit of actual martial arts to go with the actual wrestling if they don't already know some martial arts. And if they do know martial arts, they can add this to their work. And going with Dan Lambert, I wouldn't mind seeing it. So if Dan is going to be a manager, I'm kind of glad it's with them because they weren't really doing that much. I'm just saying. CM Punk segment. Now this kind of goes with me in the very beginning of this review. The opening with CM Punk. Here it is. This is not Chicago. Sorry, I haven't been sleeping lately. This is what you happen when you're working on animation. When you do all those videos, you're working on animation and you basically are an insomniac. You're always tired. I'm not kidding. I have insomnia and I do take stuff for it, but I'm kind of stubborn. I'd rather stay awake and do stuff or watch something. But anyway, CM Punk did not get the same sound as he did in Chicago. He didn't. Baltimore, Maryland, I believe that's where they're at. It's not the same. But it doesn't mean it's bad. This is what Chicago was. This is what Baltimore was. I believe it's Baltimore. Right here. It's just below it. But still, this is 0. This is half. This is them here. This is them here. So they're more than half. It was fine. But it was obvious that they weren't as loud as Chicago. That's just the truth. They weren't as loud. Now, when he was with Tony Schiavone, he made it very clear, Tony, I can't hear you. Because they were beginning to do the CM Punk chant, and they were very loud. And they just started cracking up laughing. It was spontaneous, and he just did it, which really goes along with his character. And I know I've seen one or two subscribers saying, why are we still dealing with this old WWE guy? Stop it. I'm saying it now. Stop it. He made himself in Ring of Honor. CM Punk made himself in Ring of Honor. If you actually think he was better in WWE, fine. But he made himself first in Ring of Honor. If he didn't become so popular beforehand, he wouldn't be as super popular as he is now. So, stop it. If you don't want to listen to me, fine. And I'll just tell you, you're wrong. Sorry. But, going along with what I said in the beginning of the show, this review, of them not really getting huge amount of numbers, even with CM Punk, what he said here, he made it very clear, he wanted to be more. He wanted to see if he could still go. He wanted to see what the new talent is, who he is. Can he still go? He made that very clear and very important. And he did mention his wife, April, the former Lee, the one that everyone loves so much. I'll say this, maybe she might be coming, counting if she's not too badly messed up in her back. But the question's going to be, how far is this going to go? Not just about this one match in September, but how far they're going to go with CM Punk. And how will people perceive CM Punk, who are the casual fans and hardcores that either have stayed with WWE but now may want to go to AEW, or the ones who just stopped watching wrestling altogether because they couldn't stand what WWE was doing, or wrestling fans who migrated to MMA because of either WWE sucked or they like just MMA better. We're going to see who is going to be there. My guess is still it won't go beyond 1.2. They'll be lucky if they hit 1.3. That's just me, guys. Tell me below. Now, what do we got here? Briefly about Christian Cage. The segment was alright. Kaz wasn't bad coming in to save him. And seeing Don Callis lose his shit was okay. It was funny where he got angry, particularly that Christian was disrespecting him. But I want to see something more from Kenny and Christian. Something's got to click. And even though this is going to be a good match, again, there's something needs to click. There's something missing. I don't know. For me personally, it feels like something missing. I'm just saying. Now, let me see. What am I forgetting? Uh, the last thing, you got Malachi Black versus a Brock Anderson, Art Anderson's son. This was the best part of the show. You see a Malachi Black coming out, and I think I saw a couple of images. I think I got 2 or 3. He comes from the ramp. You can't tell what side he went into. You know he's a bad guy, but still, he appears in the middle of the ramp. He stands up with the light. You see his silhouette. You see his headdress. You see him slowly walking down to the ring. You see how menacing and evil he is, and then he gets into the ring, and then he sits down in the middle of the ring like he's done before. It is a very good presentation. The music was good. The sound was good. The Titantron was good. The smoke was good. It all worked very well. And then Brock comes out in some music that just didn't seem to fit him. It felt like it belonged to someone a lot more experienced than him. Because he's only done 6 matches. And 5 of them were tagged. This was the 6th one. Now, did the beginning go well? Yeah. He got at Malachi Black. He managed to beat down a little bit of Malachi Black, but didn't last very long. And then the one shot I have, I'm going to put in my face, when you see Malachi Black saying, throw it in, and he says no, and throws it to the ground, you know that after what he said earlier that night, saying, you know what, if you do not just jump out of the ring and take the count out and say, I'm sorry, I'm going to make you pay for it. And he did. He whooped his ass 7 nights to Sunday and then gave him a black mask for his trouble. He ended him. Then when Art got into the ring, he pulled a chair. He looked like he was going to whack him with it. And Art said, why don't you drop that and face me like a man? He said, okay. And then he tried to give him a black mask. Art blocked it until he got the nut shot, which is also my face. Of course, you don't see the leg going between the legs. Then he gave his dad a black mask. Done. And then it looked like, and this is when I kind of lost the image, because the stream kind of started going fuzzy, because you got Lee Johnson coming out, but I didn't see Lee attack him. He did come out, and then he left. So I don't think he attacked, but he did come out to try and help Art as well as Brock. So it looks like the next person that's going to get a ass whooping will be Lee Johnson, which it should. Can we go? It's the best title for this video. You know why? Because you got Miro wanting to go after Eddie Kingston. They didn't say it earlier, but here he's making it very clear as the voice of God of Joan of Arc. He's the male version of Joan of Arc. That's what he is. He is Joan of Arc as a male. He now wants to go after Eddie Kingston. You got CM Punk wanting to go after a Darby Allin. You got Garcia, don't know who he's going after. Is he going after Darby Allin, or is he still going after a Moxley because he got his butt whooped? Then you're going to have Moxley going up against Kojima. Then you're going to have, who you're going to be going after next? Statlander will be eventually going up against Britt Baker, but she's probably going to go up against a Jamie Hager first, or might go up against Jamie Hager. Counting if they're going to let them butt heads, I don't know. But this is a show that was very good, except for the beginning sucked. Seeing Matt Hardy got his nose broken by a Orange Cassidy because he landed straight on his face with his chest was not good. And that match did not need to be on Dynamite. It could have been thrown onto Rampage. And it would give it more relevance because you wouldn't have to worry about it being an opening match. But this is just me, and I hope you enjoyed this Dynamite Delight. Please give me a comment below, and I will be doing my Impact review tomorrow. Hope so. Peace.